Hi everybody, I hope you're well. All being well, we are now live. As I always do at the start of live streams, could I please ask you to let me know if you can see me okay, if you can hear me okay, just make sure that the comments are coming through. It looks like they are. Amazing, thank you. Hi Christopher, when you see me looking away, by the way, I'm just reading your comments. Hi Christopher. Hi, Paul. Hi, TJ. Hope you're all well. Again, if you can just let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me. I'm hoping you can because they seem to come through very, very quick. Let me know where you're watching from as well. Thank you, TJ. That's brilliant. We seem to be working. Excellent. So we have a very, very special stream for you this evening or daytime, depending on where you are. We are being joined by not one, not two, not even three, but four incredible photographers. And in this stream, they're going to be sharing some of their very, very exciting news, which you'll definitely want to be hearing. And then we're going to look at how they created some of their favorite images. And, well, I'll try to build up who the guests are, but it's in the title. So I'm going to say now, again, we are being joined by Amber Henry, Arno de Bruijn, Ben Connolly, and Chris Benavides. Four insanely talented photographers who have got accolades coming out of their areas. So it's going to be a really, really cool stream. Again, I'm just going to be a bit YouTube about all this and ask you if you could please like the stream. That would be amazing. So just hit the like button underneath because that will get this pushed out to more people. Thank you to everyone who has joined so far. So let's just see who we got. Again, we've got Emma, we've got Drew, we've got Martin, we've got Helen, we've got Drew again from his sofa. We've got Joe, fresh from my workshop last week. Excellent. Zoltan, I believe, the soul of my lens. I hope I've not got that wrong. Johan, James from the Netherlands, from Ireland. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. We really appreciate it. So, yeah, if you could please like the stream, that would be amazing. We've got 25 people watching and 13 likes. That doesn't seem right to me. So if you could please hit the like button and then I will love you forever. So again, in this stream, we are going to be joined by four insanely talented photographers to share their very, very exciting news that especially if you are going to do a PPI next year, you'll definitely want to hear. And then we're going to be taking a look at how they've created some of their favorite recent images. And trust me, I've seen these images and they're very, very special. So it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. So all being well, before I bring on our guests, I'm going to show you a little trailer of what they have coming up next year in March, just before WPPI. This is amazing. Just wait till you see this. Here, hopefully it's going to work.
Get ready for a photography experience like no other. On March 14 and 15, 2025, in the heart of vibrant Las Vegas, we're bringing together four international award-winning photographers for an unforgettable 2-day workshop.
We'll have hands-on sessions led by each master photographer, live demonstrations, interactive sessions, and exclusive access to cutting-edge equipment. We've secured stunning locations and professional models to help you bring your vision to life. And did we mention a whole bunch of really cool prizes from our leading sponsors? So, who are we? Well, I'm Ben Connolly.
Hi, my name's Chris Benavides.
I'm Arno.
And I'm Amber Henry. And together, the four of us will give you one incredible experience.
So let me tell you about the rose among us three thorns. Our incredible American artist, Amber Henry, is the best flasher I know. Amber is going to bring the fun, the romance, and all the colourful possibilities with her visual storytelling. Her unique use of gels and flash shooting techniques is going to make your indoor portraits pop with colour and creativity. Amber and Chris are also going to team up for a bit of indoor inspiration and creativity. And Amber is also going to show you how she creates some of her most recognizable and colorful photos. If you know Amber, you'll know that she's a burst of fun and creativity, and she's going to help you take your images from great to oh my god.
Aw, thanks, Ben. Don't you just love that Aussie accent? Speaking of Aussies, one of the first things that we're going to do is dive into the secrets of lighting, posing, composition, and storytelling with our other favorite Australian photographer, Ben Connolly. Whether you're just starting out or you need a refresher, this session is going to set you up for success. Then, Ben and Arno are going to dive into the magic of Photoshop. They're going to show you how amazing your work will look when the fundamentals are as polished as your lighting skills are going to be.
Well, you're in for an experience when I team up with my innovative Dutch trailblazer, Arno de Bruijn. Arnold's also an author to his own flash and creative lighting book. He's a Sony ambassador known to push the limits in light in photography. And he's going to challenge you to see light in a totally different way. Arnold's going to share with you his creative inspirations and how he looks at a scene, to see not only what it contains, but also what he can create with it. Together we'll break down our most complex lighting setups. Whether it's inside or outside, Arnold will challenge you and push your skills to the edge.
And we're going to dive into the world of dramatic lighting and dynamic portraits with our esteemed North American legend from Las Vegas, Chris. He's going to share the techniques that make his world colorfully iconic. Along with myself, Chris will also be your guide into the world of creative inspiration. And we're going to show you how to push the boundaries of your creativity. You can also expect to see, feel and create something extraordinary when Chris teams up with the incredible Amber Henry.
This immersive and colorful 2 days is going to be unlike any other workshop you've ever attended. There's going to be 4 internationally awarded photographers in the room, guiding you through every step. You'll gain skills and knowledge across the board, everything from posing and lighting all the way through to creative flash and Photoshop. And all of those skills and that knowledge is going to set your photography apart from all of the rest. Best of all, you'll become part of an amazing flash community that's highly creative and supportive, and it's going to inspire you like it's inspired us. So join us in Las Vegas on March 14 and 15 for the Fabulous 4 Creative Lighting Workshop, just in time to give you a huge boost of creativity right before WPPI. With 2 jam-packed days, 4 masters, and countless opportunities to take your photography to the next level, don't miss out because there's limited seats available.
Wow, that looks amazing. Wow, still reading some of the comments as well. Paul's going here. This is like the Ocean's 11 of photography. Exactly. TJ says he needs it. And Helena said, oh, I'm famous. I must admit, I didn't realize we're in there. I apologize, Ben, for ruining your video. But no, that's really, really cool. I loved it, and it looks amazing. So without further ado, let's bring on the Fab Four. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so first of all, we have, if I can get this correct, Amber Henry.
Hi.
And then we have, I'll bring you all in. I must admit, I've never had more than one guest on one of these live streams, so we're making it up as we go along. Second, we have, again, should be unmuted, Chris Benavides. Chris, have I said your name correct? Oh, I have muted him. Sorry, I was doing so well. Perfect, we can hear you now, Chris.
You did an excellent job, by the way. Good.
Brilliant, thank you.
My last name.
Amazing. Okay, excellent. Thank you. And third, we have all the way from Australia, where it's probably like 1:30 a.m., Mr. Ben Connolly. Oh, look at the screen getting very posh. Hi, Ben. How
Morning,
are you doing?
How are we doing?
Excellent. Amazing. And then last but not least, all the way from the Netherlands, it is, again, if I can unmute you, Mr. Arno de Bruijn.
Hi there.
It's working. We've got 5 people on the screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned that Arno and Ben would be at the top and would have slightly bigger screens, but we'll go with it. I don't want to break anything. So,
That's
yeah,
right. We'll go with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining, and we are so excited to promote this workshop, and from a Flashmaster's point of view, be a part of it, because this is extraordinary. 4 different photographers, literally from 3 different continents, coming together and producing what looks like an incredible 2 days. But I don't know much about it, so I'm going to ask you to introduce this, and I'm very curious to know, how did this even come about?
Ben.
I love how that gets kicked.
Go on, Ben. You've only just woken up.
So after WPPI last year, everything was done and finished, and Arno and I were left in Vegas. We were kind of the orphans in Vegas for about 2 days or 3 days after WPPI had finished, because I guess we kind of like hanging out and just seeing the sights of Vegas. So we hung out for a few nights, and on one of the last nights we were sitting there having a steak that was about that big. And we thought, I think Arno said, wouldn't it be good to have a workshop and we'll get a few people to come in and do it. And it kind of evolved from there, and Arno and I sort of sat there and thought about who we'd love to have sort of doing that, and who we'd love to have to spend a couple of days with, and how long it would be, and where it would be, and all that sort of stuff. And, a few months later, here we are.
I think Ben's being modest.
Well, Arno, you can jump in anytime you want to, brother.
I don't believe that Arno and Ben were alone in Vegas and just decided to chat about workshops. I'm not believing that for a second.
No, that's true.
That is actually...
Yeah.
Yeah. We were eating steak. First we are.
I believe the steak.
Steak in a steakhouse at the Golden Nugget, and we saw all the lights in downtown Las Vegas. And at that time, we were drinking something, and we were looking at all those fabulous lights. And after that,
all this I believe.
Let's do a workshop in Vegas. Yeah. Really.
So I want to say that I had already left, my husband and I had left, and we were like almost in tears leaving WPPI last year, because Ben and Arno and us had hung out like almost every second that we could be together there, and it was like leaving your family. It was awful, and I don't even know if we were back home yet or what, but I get this exciting like text from the guys, and they're like, we're going to do a workshop next year. Oh my God, we've got all these ideas. We can't wait. We're in Fremont Street. And they're sending me photos, and their mind is going. And it was so exciting and pumped, and looking forward to just coming back to Vegas to teach and to be there, but to like see my guys, because these men are so amazing. They're not just amazing. They're fun. We have so much fun together. We will laugh until we have tears rolling down our face. So, so Ben and Arno came up with it. So excited. Chris is like the go-to photographer in Vegas. He knows everything, every like location. His light, well, you're gonna see, but his lighting, insane. So, okay.
Thank you.
Just to follow on from that, there is quite a few photos from those few days where Arno and I were in Vegas that no one should ever see.
Now this again, I believe, Ben. Now we're getting to the crux of it.
No one should ever see or should ever get out.
Just don't.
People will be cancelled.
Legitimately,
don't be wrong to me, and then I won't.
That's where it came from.
No, I love it though. I love it. This is the very definition really of community over competition. To come together like this and to share your experiences and give people like a one-stop shop basically of learning from all 4 of you is incredible. I don't think it's been done before, so I think it's an absolutely amazing experience. So Yeah, and four very different photographers as well. You know, although I know you're all very, very proficient and experts in off-camera flash, I think I could identify each of your work without even seeing a watermark, just because you've each got your own individual styles, which I think is really nice. You know, that's a good thing.
That.
You don't all want to shoot exactly the same.
I love that.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
100% agree too.
So, hey, Chris, you've been pretty quiet, brother. I think it's time you had a few words.
Guys, I'll tell you this much, man. It's a blessing to be around these guys. These guys I look up to them. So just being here in this chat room, I think I'm in unbelief right now. I'm in limbo land right now. So I'm really happy to be here. But I'm excited. One of the things I told them about Vegas is that I know Vegas very well. I can blindfold myself and I know where to go. So I'm stoked. I know that what we're going to do is going to innovate the business. It's going to just show people what we can do anywhere. And of course, I also want to get some of those locations that are not too hot, but I know that with these photographers, we'll make them hot. So that's the point of all this workshop is it's easy to photograph when everything's pretty, but let's start creating something out of nothing. So that's the great part.
Love that. Love that. So I've got a few questions then. First of all, who would this workshop be for? Who is it you're thinking is actually going to attend?
Anybody
Neil.
who wants to upgrade.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe this might work better, Neil, if you direct a question to one of us.
Yes.
chatting.
Rather than freak around. Okay then.
I think we'll all jump in and people are just going to say, shit. Man,
Okay then. Let's do this. Let's be professional about this then. Okay, Amber, could you tell us that we know this is lasting for 2 days on the 14th and the 15th of March next year, I believe. So could you give us a bit of a description of the structure? What will those 2 days look like?
Oh, that's so much better for Ben to answer. So
I've actually got... All right,
Ben Connolly, out of interest, I know this workshop's going to be on 2 days, on the 14th and the 15th of March, I believe. Could you give us a bit of an idea about the structure? What will these 2 days look like? I think that's pretty accurate.
Can you just ask that question to someone else? I just want to hear you say So,
Arno de Bruijn, I know this workshop's going to be over 2 days, the 14th and the 15th of March, I believe.
The beauty of this is that I'm turning into a grumpy old man, and I don't have my glasses with me. But here we go. So we've got day one. We're starting off at a 9 a.m. in the morning registration, and then 10 o'clock. Yeah. It's hey, it's not as bad as my 5-day workshop. So how about you just settle the hell down?
It's not as bad either now. Ben's used to getting up at like 4 a.m. for these things.
Yeah. I said to Haley this morning, mornings suck. All right, so 9 a.m. registration, 10 a.m. is with me. So it's everyone starting off with me. So it's a lighting, posing, composition, fundamentals session from 10 till 12. Then at 12 o'clock, we're going to have a short lunch, half an hour. And then 12:30, it's Arno and Chris with creative inspiration, just going through their photos, how they've created things, what they think, and all that sort of stuff. So really starting to get the creative juices sort of flowing with everything. And my amazing Haley just was listening and just brought my glasses in so that now I look like a serial killer.
Grandpa Ben.
Oh, shut up, all of you.
Now you look more like a teacher, Ben. You're commanding respect now from this rabble.
Subtle class.
You will get the respect now.
Yeah, right.
What camera do you use out of interest, Ben?
Focus, Nikon, actually. No, I use those little pink Instamatic ones. You know, the little
cool.
ones. Anyway, so coming back from from lunch, 12:30, Arno and Chris with creative inspiration. Then that runs till 2:30, and then from 2:30 onwards, we've got Amber and Chris going through gels, shooting in the room, and you know the really crazy inside portraits and that sort of stuff. So we're keeping the creativity flowing. Then 5 o'clock, we're going to have a short break, half an hour. And then at 5:30, this is the part that scares the shit out of me. We're all going to split into groups. and we're going to go Arno and I together and Chris and Amber together, and we're going to split the group. So half the group go with one pair, half the group go with the other, and then we're going to hit out the outdoor shoots. So we're going to cruise around in pairs and sort of do outdoor shoots and all the way through Fremont Street in Vegas, wherever amazing places Chris has sort of worked out for us. Then 7:30, we're going to break from that. So there's 2 hours of outdoor shooting, and then we're going to stop for dinner at 7:30. Then 8:30, we're swapping groups, and we're going to do another hour and a half till about 10 o'clock that night.
Love this. This is intense in a great way.
Yeah. This is a bit mental. Yep. So then
Ben is a workhorse.
Yeah, Ben's anyway.
Ben's a non-stop.
Yeah. Ben's an Energizer bunny that probably should stop at some point. Day 2, 10 o'clock start, because we're going to need a bit of a sleep because it is Vegas. We're going to start with image critiques, and then we're going to pick the best photos from the day before, and we're going to give prizes for those photos.
Ooh.
All our sponsors and stuff were listed on the back of that video. There's so many there that I can't name them all. If I do, I'll forget one, and then I'll be in trouble. Then at 11 o'clock, where all 4 instructors are going to show 4 photos, and we're going to show how they're edited differently. So essentially, we're all gonna have one photo each, and then we're all gonna very quickly edit that photo during the evening before, and we're gonna show everyone the difference between everyone else's, the difference between how we all see a photo and how we would put it together and edit it afterwards. So it's a good way to show the subjectivity of a photo that a common photo and how we would all put it together. That's then going to lead us into 11:15 for Arno and I to do some creative editing in Photoshop. So we're going to deep dive into Photoshop and show people how we edit and how potentially they should edit to get the best result from their photo. Then we're going to stop for lunch, 12:30. 1:30 is going to be a Q&A panel. So all of us instructors are going to sit there, chat with everyone, answer any questions, and just cover off everything that anyone sort of needs to know and is not sure of. From then, that's an hour. At 2:30 on day 2, we're doing photo breakdowns. So it's 3 photos per instructor, and basically we're going to photo breakdowns, how we did it, what the thought process was, how it was all edited, all that kind of stuff, how it was created. 3:30, we're going into advanced lighting setups with Arno, Amber, and Chris, both inside and outside. And while they're doing that, I'm wandering around helping people with settings and helping people sort of, so that no one gets left behind. Like we don't want anyone to be left behind through this. So whenever there's 2 of us or 1 of us up on stage or speaking or taking a group, there's always going to be another 3 or at least 1 of us that is not doing anything, who can help people and who can make sure that the group is flowing nicely as the group. So then at 5:30, we're going to stop for an early dinner. Then at 6:30, we're going into night shoots again. So all of us instructors, we're not sure yet whether we're going to split into 4 and take a separate group for each person, or we stay in the pairs. And then basically we're just shooting from 6:30 until 9:30 on the second night. Then from 9:30, we're going to wrap up and sort of have a quick little Q&A. 10:30, we're going to have an after party, and we're going to rage until WPPI starts, and we all rock in WPPI with blurry eyes, a limp, and just something going on. Yeah. So
I've got to say, that sounds really... That is really comprehensive. So you've got everything in there, basically. You've got the mindset, the taking of the photos, the editing of them as well, which is really good. So you see the whole journey. It sounds amazing. Very, very exciting. So I'm going to ask another question. Sorry, Amber, go on.
Sorry. On the second day, when the 4 of us are individual with our attendees that we should have like a little battle royale type of competition going down and see like. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, this is. I'm saying nothing.
Would that not be hilarious? That'd be hilarious.
I think it should be.
Let's go.
One of the things
Let's
that
go.
Chris is going to
Chris
give
is
you the
like,
bad locations, though,
yeah.
Amber.
No, he wouldn't do that. You know what?
I would
Bring
do
it. Bring it. I love
No,
bad
no,
locations.
I would never do that. No.
One thing that Ben like briefly touched on, and just to add in there, is that we have the most amazing sponsors. We have the most amazing companies. We had so many companies behind this that we have to actually pick and choose which ones to use because we didn't want, this print company battling with that print company, etc. So all of our attendees are actually going to leave with as much in gifts and awards and equipment and things more than they spent on this actual 2-day workshop. So your actually investment is going to be not only that you're going to have like the freaking best education and go home and just have so much going on, but that you're going to receive so much in gifts from our sponsors that the ticket's already paid for. So that's how.
Really? Amazing.
Yeah.
Did
you say really?
I didn't know this. What do I do?
Oh, there's
Do I get some shit
there's so
or
much
what?
going on. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you.
Oh, I want some shit too.
You can't get it. We don't get it.
Oh, I
So
will.
I'm going to ask a question now that is very much directed at Chris, I think, because he's the Las Vegas expert. I've never been, but again, if anybody's thinking about coming to this workshop who hasn't been to Vegas before, what sort of places, Chris, do you envisage you will be shooting in?
So, Fremont is where you want to be, right? Fremont is the main old strip, basically where Frank Sinatra used to sing and all that good stuff. The great thing about that Fremont Street is that it just lights up at night, right? So what's cool is that there's just so many different situations and different like lighting situations. However, you got to know how to adapt your light to make that even look better, right? That's the point of everything, right? Because you could have a beautiful landscape, but if your lighting is off and you don't know how to light it, you don't know how to take out that creativity and that punch out on that scene. So that's what we're here for. So definitely, I think it's something where people are going to come and you're going to see a lot of spots that are going to be. The cool thing about Fremont is you're walking and all of a sudden to your right hand side you have a spot. Then to your left hand side, everywhere there's potential to shoot. So it's a wonderful place, and everybody's used to the photographers because everybody's always photographing. So it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I say I've never been, but I would love to, and it sounds like a dream, especially for off-camera flash as well, because I'm picturing Vegas obviously being full of lights and that bokeh, and we've got the Mr. Bocalicious himself on this stream, Mr. Arno de Bruijn. So I know you're a massive fan of Vegas. You virtually live in Vegas, don't you, Arno? Have you been? Is it every single year now? For how long?
Yeah, I started visiting Vegas from 1996 or 98, and since 2000 I visit Vegas every time 1 year. Every year 1 time.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So my dream was before I die, I want to sleep in every strip hotel in Vegas.
Go for the bed bugs, Arno.
And one gutter.
So where should people stay, by the way? If they're looking to book on, let's have some local knowledge.
Yeah, I could recommend you that. So the main one is Circa. Circa's the most hot thing right now out in Vegas on Fremont Street. Second, I would say Golden Nugget. Third, I would jump to El Cortez, and 4 would be Binion's. I would stay within that, maybe even the D Hotel. But if you want your top 2, either Circa, Golden Nugget, they're always up to date. They're always in good ways. So we're good.
We're all staying at the Nugget.
I was just about to say, are you all? If people did genuinely want to stay with you, not saying in your room, who knows after a few drinks. But if people did want to stay in the vicinity, where would you be?
At the Nugget.
I've never heard of the Nugget.
So, side note, if you go to the link to sign up for the workshop, and you hit like the sign up button, all the information, the class list is listed there, but at the bottom, it has all the hotels listed, all their information, and they gave us discount codes to go with the hotel. So don't book your hotel until you log on, read through the very bottom, and they all have little codes that they gave us. So you get like, I think it's like 20 or 25% off your hotel stay even. So we're really trying to hook you up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
really,
brilliant. And
yeah, thanks to Chris, he did all that.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
oh, love
Wait,
it.
I'm on the wrong side. There we go. Yay.
And obviously,
Chris,
this is a
give me
bit
some
silly because
nuts.
everybody can see it going across the screen, but you can now, if you do want to sign up and join the workshop, and why wouldn't you? Because it sounds absolutely epic. It's amberhenryphotography.com/the-fabulous-4. And say there's more details on there as well. I imagine you're all probably quite looking forward to learning from each other as well. Because that's one of the great things I imagine about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am so excited to watch these guys in person and heckle them. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, have you actually seen each other shooting before? Obviously, you've all spent time together, obviously, but have you actually seen you with cameras in your hands?
Ben and Arno saw me last year at WPPI for my WPPI class, but that was it. I've never been able to sit and watch them, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that would be
I can't wait
amazing.
to see you guys shoot.
Yeah,
Right.
There was a shoot last year, but the model cancelled the shoot. Otherwise, Ben and I would do a Flashmaster shoot in Las Vegas last year. But we will try that this year.
Cool. Well, you went for a steak instead, so probably better.
I'm
Okay,
going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Like, with a camera in my hand around all these guys, I'm going to be shooting little pebbles that are about that big. So, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be on.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I'm not really factoring that in, but I'd be the same. I'm sat here thinking, oh, this would be so good, like all four of you together, and you clearly all get on. Because one of the other things is what an experience it'll be. Even if you can forget the learning, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So much fun.
But if anybody is involved in something like this, you're bound to, because you're all at the top of the game. Like, you're bound to be thinking, oh God, like there's like going to be a friendly competitive element. But I will be feeling exactly the same, Ben. It's intense. But I imagine, put a positive spin on it, you'll all raise your game because of that. You know, like you can't afford to have an off day. So I'm sure what you produce is going to be epic. No pressure.
If you leave without your cheeks hurting from laughing, then we failed you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you for not putting pressure, Neil. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, I'm loving point. I'm not involved, Chris. I'm just going to pile the pressure on you, especially if you, like. The last question I've got.
Just went from that big to that big. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You'll be fine. We've got a couple of questions here. If you do have any questions, by the way, anybody who's watching, please do just let us know in the comments. Biz has asked, I think you've just answered this anyway, Amber. Any hotel connections with the program? So again, as Amber's just said, if you go to the link, which I'll put across the screen again in a minute, then you'll find some of the details there. And yeah, Sharon's also asked, which hotel is the workshop in? Is it in a hotel? I know you said you're staying at, what was it, Chicken Nugget or something? I can't remember what you said.
Chicken Nugget. No,
Chicken Nugget.
You say the Nugget? I can't remember. I remember thinking, I've never heard of this.
The Golden Nugget. The Golden
Nugget.
The Golden Nugget. And,
It's in the desert. They're miners. You get it?
Got you. I'm thinking of KFC. Right, okay, yeah.
No, it's a very nice hotel. But we're doing the indoor workshop. Chris arranged a beautiful location, Meet, in Vegas. That's just around the corner at Fremont Street. So we can walk to Fremont Street or other nice locations there. So we can do things indoor and we can do things outdoor.
Yep, and all that.
And it's
Cool.
it's a really good, relatively like quite a modern and sort of state of the art sort of area where we're going to be. So everything's well catered and nice and modern, and everything's going to be really comfortable. So we're really excited.
Excellent. Okay, just another question, Arno, this time I'll ask. So again, I asked it earlier on, but if people maybe are thinking, oh, I'd love to come on this, but I'm not at your level, you know, because let's face it, you're all insanely talented, and it could almost put people off. I'm assuming, Arno, you wouldn't want them to feel that way. If people are a bit newer to the industry, maybe they're not quite as experienced. You'd still want them.
We learn them some tricks with off-camera flash and with composition and with creative mind, so they will leave Vegas with a more professional instinct. So it doesn't matter if you're a pro or if you're a beginner. With one flash, with two flash, or with three flash, we can teach everybody our creative mind, and that's what I'm always teaching. But also Amber, Chris, and Ben. So it doesn't matter. You can be a pro, but you also can be an amateur. That's no problem, because we teach you how to shoot beautiful, creative images in any location.
And the beauty of that, guys, is that there's four of us. Unlike any workshop you've ever been to, there's one, maybe two. So if you're struggling and you start to fall behind, then it can ruin your event for you. The beauty of this is there is four people in the room who can just step in and go, right, I can see, if someone's having an issue, one of us can sort of step up and go, hey, can see you're not getting this or something. How can I help you? And that just means that, as I said before, no one gets left behind, whether you're starting out or whether you're a pro in the biz. If there's always something that someone's not going to understand or something that someone's not going to get, whether it's Flash or Photoshop or, posing, lighting, whatever. But all of us are going to be there hovering around, and it just means that we can fill in the gaps for everyone.
Yeah. I'm going to say, even if you're new, like even if you are newer to photography, and so you might feel intimidated to coming to this, you are going to put yourself miles ahead in your education than you would if you were scared to come. The people who come who are new, year in, 2 year in, maybe learning, this is like an advanced college course where you are going to get a degree when you leave. You're going to see things differently. I don't know how to explain how talented these men are, but they can look at something and just see it in their head and make it come to life using flash, using posing, and they're going to teach you that. So one of the things I always say at any of my classes is my goal is not to teach you to take pretty pictures in pretty locations. My goal is to take you in a crappy location so that you learn how to change that, because when you go back home, if you can't do this when you go back home, then we have failed you. Our goal is lighting and posing and composition. And if you're new to the game, wow, are you going to step up? I would actually encourage more new people to sign up than people who already know more, only because, like, bam, it's going to be like a truck hitting you. It's going to be phenomenal.
I totally agree. I think,
and my approach is always a step-by-step learning system. So from boring to awesome, there are a lot of steps between those two things, and I learn them every step I take, every single thing I'll do. I will explain them, so they will see that using off-camera flash on a creative way is super simple, really.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think there's two things just to pick up on what you said, especially there, Amber, as well, which I totally agree with, is that it would be easy again for people to look at this workshop and think, oh, but you do it in Vegas, you're going to have models in amazing locations, it's going to be easy. But you're almost saying that what you're teaching, you then take away and you use anywhere. I know that all of you are very proficient. We recently did a Flashmaster tutorial also with Arno in Amsterdam, where he deliberately took us to the most boring out. We were in Amsterdam. There's loads of pretty places. Yeah, we won't say about it all, Arno. Don't worry. Just the bits that we can. A bit like you and Ben in Vegas. But yeah, the bits that Arno took us to weren't the pretty bits. It was the car park. Literally, it was a blank wall. So the skills that you're learning on this workshop, they're not just specific to Vegas. You can then take them away with you and use them anywhere. I'm assuming. And then the other thing which you said, Amber, which I so agree with, is like people learn when they feel uncomfortable. I think if you're ever in your comfort zone, in other words, you know, you go somewhere and you're doing something that isn't pushing yourself, you're not really going to learn. But if you're thrown in, you know, like being in a room with you four, for example, it's going to feel overwhelming, I think very scary, but you'll come out the other side levels further away than where you started. So I think I would say, again, if anybody's a bit like nervous, you know, I knowing the four of you, you couldn't get four nicer people, four better educators, but you will also, you will come out the other side so pleased that you've gone through the experience, even though it does feel scary. I think that's always really important to say.
That's why we even part of the course, like Ben said, is indoors, is just going to be in the room that we are going to do, the conference room that we're going to be in. We're going to do a couple things in there before we head outside. And that's exactly the purpose. We want to teach you some basics. We want to show you, look, even with this corner or this blank wall or this dirty table or whatever, we can create it here. And then when they go outside, they're going to already have some of that education done. So when we're on the street and the lights are hitting them and everything else, they can always think about the basics that we just taught them. But like you said, our goal is to get them to go home and be able to create this in any scenario, any, you know, place that they're given by any client, and just wow everybody, wow themselves too, you know. Just surprise themselves.
I think the only thing I'll add, I think that everything everyone said was amazing. I think the one thing I'll add too, I think that I see it in my comments, is a lot of people think that this off-camera flash takes a lot of time. Like, how can you do that during a wedding? You're taking the bride's time, you're taking the groom's time. It's done in seconds. Once you know your settings, once you know what you're doing, and you practice it so much and what we're going to show you, and you practice what we're going to show you, trust me, you're going to go back and be able to get these things done in seconds. And that's what it's about. It's about timing, and timing is money, and we got to move forward, and we got to shoot and get out. So we're going to show execution, and with execution comes success. So I think definitely everybody's going to walk out totally better.
Quick and dirty.
Love that.
If I can have the last word on this, I'm going to anyway, if anyone says no. But
I knew that was coming.
you knew where that was going.
Oh, Ben took his glasses off. He's in serious mode now.
They came off 20 minutes ago now. So I've been asked quite a few times, if this is an off-camera flash and creative lighting workshop and that sort of stuff, why are you covering lighting and posing and composition and just the fundamental stuff? Like, I've been asked that question quite a few times. And if anyone knows me, especially the guys on the 5-day workshop that I did with you guys in the UK, you'll know that the fundamentals and understanding lighting and posing and all that sort of stuff has to come first before you even pick up a flash. And it's no good just grabbing a flash and going out and hoping for the best. Or even if you have flash skills, there's nothing worse than coming home and looking at a photo that you've gone all creative with flash and you've stuffed the posing up, or the bride or groom doesn't look good because you haven't directed them properly, or you've missed something, or, you know, something like that. The fundamentals matter so much in putting a shot together. And for anyone that's watching, if you want to win awards or you want to do anything like that, the fundamentals have to be nailed down. Like, everything's got to be 100%. The lighting, the posing, the Photoshop, the printing, the everything. It's all got to be done perfectly. Otherwise, you don't rate. And that's why the first part of the workshop, the first thing that we do, although it might seem fundamental, is lighting and posing and composition, because it is those three things then lead into getting the flash out, being creative, and that sort of thing. So that's, I'm passionate about getting those things right for people, because I see so many photos that, you know, judging awards and that sort of stuff, there's so many photos that could be an 85 or a 90, but they're stuck at like 80 or 79 or something, just because the posing's a bit dodge and they just haven't composed it right, and the lighting's a little bit off or something like that. It's just, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, and I want to make sure that everyone understands that and gets it nailed down so that their photos look as amazing as they can, and they make the most money from their photos because their couples love how they look in the photos and then want to buy prints and albums and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. And it sounds like you've got the structure about this really nailed, because from what Amber was saying before as well, that you're starting off with the basics and getting the fundamentals right before you go to level 3. Like, you're doing it in an order, because I think it's always very tempting to look at the images that you guys are all producing and just go straight for that without really understanding that they are based on, a solid foundation, which is what you're saying there, Ben.
Yeah.
Biz has said here this might be doable. Oh, I don't know if any of you know Biz. She's one of our funniest Flashmasters members. Biz, with you guys, would be a match made in heaven. So yeah, Biz, if you can go, I think you would love it.
She's in our Females Who Flash group, and she's a great contributor ever since she entered the group.
We love her energy.
Contributing, yes, absolutely. And she's in Hawaii, which doesn't make me jealous at all.
Oh no. Jerry said, Ben taught me direct first, then take the shot. I was so wrapped up in the technicals of my camera, I forgot those 3 parts. There you go. Yeah, and it's also just to lead on as well that you're all educated as well. I think that's very important. I mean, God knows how many workshops you've done between you all, and all the speaking that you've done, and the ambassadorships that you have. Again, for anybody watching, you'll all know these people. That's why you're all watching this stream now. But you couldn't get 4 better educators. I'm tempted to come and do this as well.
We could if you would come, Neil. If you and Helen
we would still like to. We would still love to. We're not discounting it. We're not discounting it.
Biz says fun.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to say the chicken nugget. I think it'll be cheaper than the golden nugget. Biz says it is funny as in peculiar. I think funny as in lovely, Biz. Right, I've got one last question for you all, which you're all going to not like. So before we get on to that, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the workshop? We've got 50 people watching, so if you want to speak to those people directly, what would you want to say to them? And then I've got the last question.
If you don't come, I'll find
you. Need to get there. You need to get there real quick.
No, I'm going to jump in first. This is something that I think hasn't really been done before. In doing this, I've seen a couple of companies overseas that have pulled together something similar to this with a few instructors and stuff. But this is kind of the first I think that something like this is going to happen. And I know it's in Vegas. I know it is just before WPPI. Everything has been done quite strategically, so that, if you're coming to Vegas, then you just come in a couple of days early and that sort of stuff. Now, we understand that it is an investment, and potentially this year hasn't been the greatest year for a lot of businesses and stuff around the world with economic downturns and stuff like that. We understand that it is a decent investment to come to this. But as Amber said, what you will take away from this will, in my mind, I think be priceless. I think all of the 4 of us are also all going to take away something from each other. And while we're taking away something from each other, the people who come to this thing are going to be taking away something incredible from all 4 of us, 4 different perspectives, 4 different outlooks, 4 different levels of creativity. And we recognize that your investment is going to be decent for this, and we're going to put in everything that we possibly can so that you take away something that is incredible for you.
Yeah, I will be an open book. You can ask me all, and I will help everybody, every attendee, step by step, to turn boring locations into awesome, learn them beautiful tricks, and Vegas is amazing. One time Vegas, every time Vegas. You will love it, and we're on on the most beautiful location, Fremont Street. So yeah, let's go to the Golden Nugget or the KFC.
Brilliant. Okay, what I'm going to ask you, and remember everyone, we're going to go through some of the images now produced by these 4 incredible photographers. But my last question to you all, and it might be a bit awkward, I don't know, but I'm going to go round in a circle. So we'll start with Amber, and I'm going to ask Amber, you're going to answer this in relation to Chris. I'd like you to know what you most admire about Chris's work. Then Chris will do the same for Arno, and I'll do for Ben. I thought it'd just be nice just to find out what you each are looking, or even what you're most looking forward to learning from these other people. I thought it'd be nice to put you on the spot and actually answer each other. And you have to be nice.
Okay, I love this. I love this. I love that I got Chris. So here's a secret. I don't think Chris even knows. I saw Chris's work before I knew who he was. And Chris, I had your images saved in my phone for inspiration.
Wow.
Like I would go to your images in my phone for inspiration.
You three better have some good answers lined up.
I seriously did. And then when we were in Vegas, I was Googling because I wanted to hit some different spots. You know, I try to go to a different location every time that I'm there to do a shoot for myself. And I was Googling spots, and your images kept coming up. And I was like, damn, this guy is everywhere. And then when Ben and Arno had their little late night snacky snack steak thing and were drunkenly texting me, and they're like, hey, there's this guy named Chris. And I'm like, shut the front door. I know exactly who you're talking about. So, Chris, I have been a little fangirl of yours since before you knew me. And now that you and I are buddies, I am so honored because I see you blowing up. Your work is so beautiful. It's so, the color, you know, my heart is with color, and your colors are bomb, and you rock everything. You have passion. You have I could go on and on about Chris. He has energy. Holy crap, the energy this man has. He's in Vegas, so he's not shooting weddings like on the weekend. He's shooting weddings like 5 or 6 times a freaking week.
Wow.
A week. And then he's like, hey, just got back from, a Thursday wedding. What did I miss? You guys want to chat? He's incredible. His work looks like his personality, which is all you can ask for as somebody. It's real. So sorry, that was a lot. That was a lot. Beautiful. But Chris, I love you. I love your work. You're amazing. I'm so honored to be your friend. I cannot wait to see what we create together. Okay, I'm done.
Oh my God. That's gonna be hard to beat.
That was really nice.
Yeah, I know. I just want to say I've never blushed so much on TV, but okay, we're good. I look like a red cherry apple right now, but anyways, thank you so much.
I want to eat some popcorn and listen to this.
Yeah. The pleasure's all mine. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about Ben. Is that correct, Neil?
Well, you can do, but I was going to say Arno. I'm going around like a clock.
How do you want it? Oh, Arno.
Arno. Yeah, we'll give you Arno. Then Arno's going to have Ben, and Ben will have Amber.
But okay, but first, I just want to say thank you to Amber. Amber, thank you so much. That was amazing. Appreciate it. Arno, one thing that sticks to me about Arno is there's something that you said earlier. You said that if somebody were to show you photographs, you can tell exactly who did what, right? And Arnold, it's got to the point where I'm like, I know it's him, and it's always him, right? And one of the things that I just love and I really, really want to outstand about Arnold is that nobody does silhouettes like he does.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm sorry. His silhouettes, yes, I see other people's silhouettes. I see how they do them, and they're nice, right? But Arnold's has a little, just a bam, just a smack to it. And it's there, and I just admire that about him because I tried doing a silhouette a couple weeks ago. It did not look like Arnold's. so when someone says that a silhouette is easy, no, it's not. It's not easy. So I just admire that a lot about him. And Arnold, fantastic job, man. And I can't wait to meet you. And it's just awesome. That's my number one thing about Arnold. Silhouette. So I call him in my head the silhouette man. That's who he is.
That's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I will teach you silhouettes in Vegas.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, I know you've got Ben.
Yeah, Ben is he's awesome. He's almost 20 years wedding photographer. He's a little bit old guy. He has always a bunny shirt. I like his shirt, his bunny shirt. And
Don't think you like his shirt anymore, do you? Do you, Arno? You used to like his shirt.
yeah, he has a beautiful Sony Canon shirt.
We're all friends together.
I love Ben is a beautiful person, and he's crying now. No, I love his posing. He's so good in posing and light, and the combination of natural light and flashlight. That's what I'm liking in Ben's images, and yeah, I'm not a great poser. That's why I'm shooting a lot of silhouettes. You can get them nose to nose, and you can create a nice silhouette. But Ben is
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Ben is super good in posing, so yeah, that's why I love his work. Posing, light, and the combination of the beautiful Australian daylight in combination with flashlight, and of course also his creativity.
Really nice.
I love you guys so much. You're just the best.
Thanks, Arno. Can you just write all that down for me in a Google review, will you? Hey, that's what we all should do. We should all give each other Google reviews. That'd help.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'm on it.
Ideas.
Okay, Ben, you've got Amber.
Oh God.
All right. So what I like about Neil is
Go for it.
Beard. No.
Look at all this grey now. Look at this.
Don't you start with me, mate. Look, this whole bit here is all grey, and this shit on the side here is all
It's silver. It's silver fox.
It
silver.
is. Exactly.
It's
It's
not silver
distinguished.
fox. No, it's not silver fox. I call it sparkles.
Oh, sparkles.
Sparkles. Anyway, that's enough. So, Amber. It's. I was going to be a smart ass and just say I love Amber's boobs, but
I knew that was coming.
I won't do that. No. For me, Amber, you are very much like Chris is to you. Does that make sense?
Aww.
So I knew of Amber before I met Amber, and I kind of always wanted to meet Amber because Amber seemed, forgive me, little and fun and squeaky, and I wanted to squish you.
You're making her sound like Monster. For those that Monster, by the way, he's not Amber. That is Ben's dog.
Monster's down here by my feet. But anyway, there was some of Amber's photos that I'd seen that I'd gone, oh wow, that's so cool. I really love that. But the kicker for me, like the one that got me, was the one with the multicolored shadows.
Oh yes.
And I'm like I saw that and I'm like, damn, who's this bitch that's doing that? Oh my god! And I had that photo saved on my phone for ages and ages because I'm like, I need to work out how to do that. And
I still can't get my head around it. And I've even sat with Amber. She's taught me through it. I still don't understand it.
Yeah, so
we'll do it.
And so I had Amber's photos on my phone as a bit of inspo, and that multicolored shadow one was something that I always wanted to have a shot at, but I needed to work out how she did it. And then we actually met for the first time at WPPI last year, and we just hit it off, like her and Chuck. And a few of their friend group as well, and we all hit it off. And I think one of the there's two things I really admire about Amber, and one is her creativity and the way that she just sort of steps out of the box a little bit with some of her lighting, and particularly that multicolored flash sort of thing. Like, that blew me away, and I'm like, I have to meet this chick. And then the second thing is, for me, just her welcoming, loving nature. Like, she and Chuck welcomed me into their lives, and like, we'd never met before, we'd never really spoken, but they welcomed me into their lives like as a complete stranger, and they've treated me like a long lost friend and that sort of stuff. And I value that so incredibly, because it's hard to find really true friends and really genuine human beings. And that's why when Arno and I sat down, obviously Arno and I really connected as well, but that's why we picked the four of us. We found the other three or the other two. But Amber, you welcomed me in. Your loving nature is an absolute gift that you need to share with the whole world. So, and also your talents as well. So yeah, that's what I admire about Amber.
That's really nice.
Definitely. Hey, you know what, Neil, I just want to add something to what Ben said. And Amber, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I got to be honest.
No, let's do it. I'm loving this, Keep it going.
Amber is somebody that I've met a lot of photographers, and then the top photographers I've talked to, some of them, no one has helped me like she has. She is somebody that has no, I don't know, she just has a big old heart. I'll tell you this much, because I can't say much, but I'll say something. It's a couple of companies that I've been talking to, and they're like, we know exactly who you are. Amber talked to us about you, super highly about you. So that tells me that she's somebody that cares about the community, not just about her, and she cares about moving everybody up with her. So Amber, you're a heart of gold. You're awesome. Not just a great photographer, because a photographer, everybody knows you're a great photographer, girl. Everybody knows that about you. You're awesome. But, I mean, on top of all that, you're a great person, and you deserve all the recognition on the world.
I agree.
Oh, my God, I'm crying.
I
love you guys so much.
You're genuinely seeing the. I know you probably all not. You might not have all met in person as a four yet, but the energy that you all have and the rapport that you've got is really infectious. It's so nice just sitting here and just seeing how you all riff off each other. As I said, I think obviously people are going to go to your workshop to learn, but my God, they're going to have a good time at the same time, which is really important, and that comes across just on this stream. And I'd also just like to reiterate how proud Helen and I are to be even a part of this through Flashmasters, because when we set this up 2 years ago now, we could not have dreamed to get people like yourselves involved in what we're doing, but also to sponsor something like this is beyond our wildest dreams, because you four are up there. And I would just reiterate, I said it before about how I think I can identify all of your work, like Amber, I mean, crazy multi-talented. When I set my Patreon years ago, you were the very first people I ever asked to come on, because I've admired you from afar for such a long time, and the way that you can use Flash to change things, and the love and the energy that you have in your work is incredible. And just to reiterate what Ben said about that multicolored shadow almost, I still don't understand it, and I still see some of your work and think, my God, wow, absolutely incredible. I've been a fanboy for a long time. Chris, I just think colour with your work, everything you do is so polished and so colourful, and it just screams like energy. And again, massive fan of your work. Just to echo what Amber said, Arno, well, you know what I think about you, Arno. We've done loads of things together in the past, and your ability to change a scene from something that looks boring to something that looks, oh my God, like that is crazy. And I think there's nobody better in the world really at transforming something. So if you see the end result, you couldn't imagine what the actual real life situation looks like. And you're incredible at that. And yeah, Ben, I mean, I can never speak highly enough about you. And for me, it's your finessing, your ability to see the little details and get the posing right, which makes the world of difference, is what I think always sets you apart. And it's no wonder you've got awards coming out of every orifice because of your attention to detail. And no, it's true though. Like, it's easy to well, it's not easy actually. You know, you can get a lot of an image right, but just getting those little tweaks done that take it from there to there is where I think you just absolutely shine. So again, to anybody watching, these 4 people will teach you so much. And I think and we're going to prove that now, because this is not the end of the stream. What we'll do now is show you some of their work and the behind the scenes. But thank you again for that. I'm on a bit of a high from all that. It was really nice. So shall we look at some of your work?
When we get together, it's just it's such a good community. We have so much fun. They're just the most amazing human beings. Yeah, so I really, if you don't come for the photography, come to laugh with us. Come to hear all of Ben's dirty jokes, and
come and get drunk with us.
Yes, come to eat all the steak and drink all the drink.
Oh, here's a question for you, actually. Will there be any drink on night 1, or will you be stone cold sober because you've got an early start the next day?
Ben's drinking right now. It's not a coffee in his cup.
If you want to come along and drink on the first night, I'll have an espresso martini with you, but it'll probably only be 1.
Yeah, but night 2.
Yeah. But night two, like I'm waking up in the gutter with a pocket full of hundreds. Like, yeah.
So Ben,
amazing.
If 5 people, if 5 people come up to you and they want an espresso martini, each one of them, you just said 1, right? So that's a total of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
That works.
I've got my ADHD drugs. I'll be fine.
Oh, I'll be honest, it seems a bit boring now to go through these images, but let's do it. Because one of the things, not because of the images, because I just want to chat to you all. I just want to chat to you all.
Go.
But one of the things that Chris actually said earlier, and I think this is a good thing to bear in mind before we look at all of the work that we're going to look at now, and we do have behind the scenes for every single image you're about to see to everybody watching, is that once you get experience enough, it doesn't take a long time. And one of the accusations I think could probably be thrown at all of you when people see your work is, I can't do that, it must take forever. And I think hopefully you can prove through showing these behind the scenes that that's not the case. So hopefully we can yeah. Sorry,
can I add something to that, Neil, really quick?
Of course.
If you as a photographer have the ability to take photos and do behind the scenes as you do it, you have the time and ability to quickly do a flash. Because I'm not going to lie, I suck at behind the scenes because I kind of never do it, because weddings in Australia, it's bang, 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 bang. It's like go, go, go. And unless I've got someone there holding a phone doing behind the scenes, it doesn't happen. That's why you don't see a lot of behind the scenes from me. Like, I've posted a few lately because Haley has come along to a couple of weddings and actually done some behind the scenes. But if you have time to do behind the scenes, you've got more than enough time to set up a flash.
Preach.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Okay, let's look at some of these images. Thank you for that, Ben. Okay, first up is Amber. Okay, so I don't know how we'll do this. We'll just ask you just to talk over it, really, Amber. Okay. And I will say for everybody watching, we normally do, within the Flashmasters community, we normally spend 2 hours on a live stream where we might go through 8 images, but we're going to try and go through this at double quick speed. But do you want to talk us through this one, Amber? First of all, Amber, is this at WPPI? Obviously, you're educating here.
This is WPPI last year. Well, this year, 2024. So, yeah. So this is at WPPI in the beautiful hotel that we won't be at this year, but maybe one day we'll be back. This is one of my classes, and I was We were just walking the halls. These halls have been shot 1,000 times by 1,000 photographers throughout the years of WPPI. So I was like, what can I do that's quick, that's fast, that's different, and I can show them in camera without any post-production how they can achieve this. So in the beginning of the video, which is on my TikTok or Instagram if you want to see it and listen to it, I am describing to the attendees next to me exactly what I'm going to shoot. This is what I see in my head. I see a red light behind him because she's got a red purse. So red is a really, grabbing color. I see her lit. That pole right there, that structure is perfect to hide a light behind. So no Photoshop there, just hide the light behind it, which is going to light
Amazing.
her. So she's fully lit. Red light behind him. There's one of my Arno inspired silhouettes.
Yes.
Gave him some shape, put a gel behind him. Boom, 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 quick and dirty. You see how fast I'm shooting, how quick that took to set up.
Yeah.
And the goal was to basically just show them, look, it's in your head how good you can be once you know what you know. Once you know posing, lighting, composition, storytelling, everywhere you go is cake. Everywhere you go is just a location waiting for you to add something to it. So the goal of that post, which blew up, was to show the back of the camera. Look, this is what I see. This is what I see in my head. I can get it in camera, no Photoshop.
And that's almost where I think these days, especially with the advent of AI and things, this is why I think seeing the behind the scenes like that and seeing it pop up on your cameras is important, because some people would look at these images and I've said before, at best think, oh, this will take a long time, but also potentially even just think it's Photoshop, it's not even real. So you're proving there that it can be done.
Even in the comments of this video, people are accusing me of Photoshop. In the comments of the video, that shows you the back of the screen of the camera.
Even
so you're
in
not...
the actual... Wow.
Yes. Yeah. They're like, oh, and you can do anything when you dump it into post. Like, literally here, you can see it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you're going to get some of that, but the good thing is that you don't have to be one of those people who have to rely on Photoshop. Photoshop is to finesse an image that hopefully that you got right in camera. So we don't want to spend our lives in Photoshop, of course. So this is just like the last. So we did that shot. I let all of my attendees take it, so they all got to put their spin on it, take the way the lighting was. And then I saw the reflective floor, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm sure you see reflective surface, and you get like super like ooh, reflection, giddy about it. So we put a light behind them. I think the red gel was behind them. So right there where she's standing, right there is where that last shot was taken, right where she's at.
Amazing.
So we just turned the lights around. We did a boom light overhead. We did a red gel behind them. And then I put my camera right down to the reflective surface and I had them play around a little bit. And we got that. If these were clients and not models, I would have knocked out 2 spreads in a wedding album in 10 minutes tops.
That was exactly, Amber, what my question was going to be. Again, for somebody watching, forget you're not even being filmed, you're not educating, you're just there on a wedding day. How long do you think it would, I think you just answered the question, to go into there? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what you'll learn on the workshop. Yeah.
Right. And that's why, Ben touched on this over and over again, that people say things like, oh, you don't have time to set up lighting. No. You do have time to set up lighting if you already know what you're doing. If you've trained yourself to have second nature posing, second nature lighting. Okay, I've been in a location with this horrible tungsten lighting before. I know exactly how to do this because I've done it already, and I can whip out my lights and do it. A great thing, so right there you can see, I would show the client the back of my camera briefly. I would be like, here you go, isn't that amazing? They freak out. They're like, oh my God, how'd you get that? Hugs, hugs, hugs. Let's go to the next location. It leaves them on a high of knowing like, hey, I can trust her. I spent all this money on her. She knows what she's doing. I'm gonna look phenomenal. So the more that you can get it right in camera on the day and keep going, the better your clientele management's going to be, your after shoot process is going to be. You're going to have more confidence in yourself.
Of course. No, I love that. Yeah. And that's just proof of how good an educator you are. I will just say though, Amber, you said about how you would show your clients sometimes the back of the camera. I did that once and he went, So yeah, but I'm the Amber Henry, so that's the difference. So be careful, everyone. Tread carefully.
Show them a banger. Show them a banger.
Yeah, exactly.
And then get out of there.
No, these are absolutely stunning. And I say, this is why seeing it behind the scenes is so important, because it will shut people up, basically. You think, oh, no, that's all fake. And also, like, what a great example of something that is almost transferable, because what you're using there, you're going to find in a lot of different venues. You know, it's basically quite blankish walls, and you can copy and paste that as a technique. It's absolutely stunning.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought.
Exactly, yeah, brilliant. Okay, next up we have Arno with one of his trademark, now we're going to call them, silhouette shots. So, as I said before, like and Chris said, I don't think there's anybody better in the whole world at transforming a scene completely, especially like using a silhouette. So do you want to talk us through this shot, Arno?
Yeah, that was an engagement shoot, I think in 2019. Vegas, and that was daytime, and I know all the places on the strip, but when you are shooting on the strip in Vegas, you have to be aware of a security guard, so you have to try to
unless you know Chris,
shoots fast and easy, and and you have to don't use large soft boxes. One flash was out of order that day, so I only had one light, and I went to the couple to the Venetian. The Venetian is a beautiful Italian style hotel, and I saw this this step up, and I posed. It was a proposal, so but he asked his girlfriend the day before, so this was a sort of fake proposal, because I have to set up my flash. First, we did a sort of dance, and I used an orange gel, full power gel, and no max fair. And with that, you create that fireball effect behind the couple. So there was a lot of sort of yellow-orange light in the middle section, and at the outer section, you will see more orange light. And with underexpose your image in camera, I think this was ISO 2000, shutter speed 160, and f-stop 6.3. And with that, you will see all the details of that hotel, because there are a lot of lights in Vegas. So you always have some structure lighting. Some beautiful colors, and in this case we have beautiful that little bit orange effect on that building, and that's why I also use that orange gel behind the couple. And after that, he did his second proposal on his future bride, Nina. He's also a famous photographer. That's Gabriel. He's top 50 fearless photographer.
Oh wow!
So I was a little bit nervous, but and because my flash broke down, I throw it away in a trash can. And
you can do that when you're Arno de Bruijn. It's only a pro photo.
Arno thing to say.
You can do that. You can do that with one flash. I know you. And I did the whole shoot nighttime in Vegas with them with one flash. So it works. So it's a super simple setup, but you have to look at the environment. You have to look at the beautiful. I call that a sweet spot. So where you can pose your couple, and where you can put your light behind, so you have enough light behind your couple without distraction. So you have in the final image, you have that beautiful environment image, but your eye will always go to the couple, and that's
totally.
That's
it's absolutely stunning
with my silhouettes.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you said before, Arno, that you might not be you don't think you're the best at posing, but that's a superb pose. Like it's absolutely amazing. And I don't think I also think, you know, sorry, go on, Arno.
Yeah, they did the posing, not me.
You're too modest. Honestly, that screams Arno, that shot. It's so obviously yours. I don't think anybody else in the world would do something like that. Say that's got your name written all over it. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, TJ said here, so freaking good. Oh, I'll put it on again when I've moved the things around. But yeah, so freaking good. I totally agree. I mean, again, everyone, this is what you're going to be getting. This is all 4 of these amazing photographers at the same place at the same time. Okay, Ben, you are Mr. Behind the Scenes himself, actually. Let me just... Oh, wait a minute. I've done this wrong. I was doing so well. Why is that not playing as a video? Wait a second. That's strange. This should be playing. What have
Did
I
you
done
get the
wrong?
video or the actual? There we go.
Yeah, no, it is. It's this is an MP4.
Typical. It's mine that doesn't work.
Oh, wait, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Yeah. Amber's played perfectly fine.
It's an Australian thing. I don't know what it is about.
What have you been sending me, Ben?
This is horse shit. I'm going.
Right, okay, we
All right.
that's the end result of something that is stunning. That's the... This should work. Let me...
Do you want me to message? I can. I
No,
might be able to
but
message it to you.
There's no reason why it shouldn't work. I don't understand it.
It's a Ben first.
See what I'm going to do? I'm going to go, if I can be very clever, I'm going to go straight to Ben's next one and then try and figure it out whilst one of you is talking. So if I press this...
Nothing.
Oh, this is weird. This is really weird.
That's a new black flash.
You poor guy.
There's got to be... There it is.
I don't mean to
it
laugh.
was.
This happens to Ben all the time.
But there's no reason. Apologies for this, everyone. Apologies to Ben. There is no reason when I do this.
The
see
irony
the
is
end of
because
it.
that Ben is so organized. Ben is the most organized out of all of us. And then this happens to him all the time.
Why does... And yet, if I do that, Amber's plays fine. And
Neil,
let me just check this.
I've just sent it to you again in the chat. I don't know if you can. Add
Yeah.
it in or
Okay.
what.
Yeah. Tell you what. I'm just going to try one. Just so this is very haphazard. He's all my fault. Everybody watching. I'm just going to just put in Ben's video straight in over the top, which is not the way I should be doing this. Oh, I know what the problem is.
You watch. Neil's going to break everything now.
No, I can tell you what the problem is. It's basically, yeah, I can see it. So, for everybody watching, this is very geeky stuff. I save all my stuff on Dropbox, and Dropbox has started to sync, and it's basically store it in the cloud, so it's not local anymore. That will be the reason. So I've just changed that, and now I'm my own tech support right now. So if I press... Okay. Okay. I tell you what, I'm just going to drop it in here.
Should we vamp?
Here we go. Here we go.
Holy-
It's actually the wrong video, but never mind. We'll do yours the other way around.
We'll do it the other way around.
But I love this though, Ben, because this is important to say as well. It's not all about off-camera flash either. Like, and nothing else shows, I think, your posing skill as well as this does. Because couples don't just do what you're doing, do they? But it looks so right when you get it to the camera.
If you could hear the comments of those two guys and my comments while this was going on, you'd laugh and you'd probably be horrified as well.
That doesn't surprise me. And again, oh, wait a minute. There we go. I mean, that is stunning. And it looked virtually out of camera as well.
Yeah, so did I use Flash or did I not use Flash? this was just in the hotel room where they were getting ready, and you see these photos all the time. Like you see the black and white, and with the bride in the white and the groom in the black, and and vice versa. And it was always tough to do it with these guys because obviously they're both wearing suits, and one's not brighter, or one's only a little bit brighter than the other, and stuff like that. So it was just something I saw, and it was, I'd seen these kind of photos before, and it didn't really kind of lend itself to using flash. If I wanted to, I could have used a flash here, and I could have sort of got a light stand and put it right up above them, shooting back down. But just with what they were doing and where it was, as you can see, it's just a curtain with a sliding door, and you've got the outside on one side and the curtain on the other. So it's in this case, it's just very much focusing on settings and getting the settings right before you actually take the shot, especially with a photo like that. And then obviously managing the lighting on both of them so that it's not over and under and that sort of stuff. So this next one was a little bit more in depth.
I'll show that now.
To bring them together and bring their faces together. And again, I didn't use flash for this one, but I did want something that was nice and warm and engaging for them both. And it was very simply like with a guy and a girl, like one of the parties is always more feminine than the other. And with these two guys, I didn't want to take the masculinity away from either of them. So that's why I've got, the side of the fuller part of the wrist showing on both. And if you could hear the footage when I say to the guy with the hair, Jason, to put his hand on Trent, the bald guy's cheek, he moves his hand up and I grab his hand. And when he puts his hand on his cheek, he goes, bang, like it's like really rough. And I'm like, I said, Jason, put your hand on Trent's cheek, and he goes, boom. And I go, oh, fucking hell, like gently, like come on. and it was comical, and I needed to keep the comedy sort of going because they were both quite nervous, and it's not always about the flash. It's not always about the bright colors and the everything else. Like with these guys, they were both nervous. I had to manage them both. With these guys, I didn't want to take the masculinity away from either one as well. But I still wanted to give them both something that was warm and engaging and beautiful for them. And that's a whole other aspect of what we do. So and then there's a lot in Photoshop here as well, just making sure all the details are right, making sure that hair is right and the white area is whited out properly, and, all that sort of stuff. So there was no flash in this. The raw photo, if you looked at it, like on the back of the camera, it looked good, but in the raw photo in Bridge looked a bit shady, and I kind of like, I wonder if I can make this work. But it looked really good. Like once the color version of this, I'm not a fan of. Like this one and the previous one have to be black and white because that's what gives us the most impact from this photo. So, yeah.
I think it's absolutely stunning. And again, just with each of the images that we've seen so far from each of you, very much a Ben Connolly shot as well. I don't know. It's like, I don't know what it is, but you can just tell it's your shot. And again, the pose in there is stunning. And that's what you'll learn from Ben. I imagine as well, like you mentioned there, the importance of the post-processing, Ben. Again, why you'll be teaching this at the workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exquisite.
It's important to make sure all the details and stuff are there. Yep.
Yeah, those tiny little smiles, and just like, because you said like that, even though they may have been joking around doing it, it feels so it feels so real. It doesn't look like the joke, and it looks like that's a real emotion you've got there. That's talent to be able to get that. Yeah, really good.
Even little things down to their eye line, like where they're looking is even directed, because there was a couple of shots before that where Trent, the bald guy, was looking at Jason's eyes, and it looks freaky because his eyes are up, Jason's eyes are down, and it's a bit weird. It's like they're both having an each way bet, and it's not quite right. But when you say to them, guys, bring your foreheads together, and I want both of you to look at each other's lips, then both their eyes go to the same place, and it just creates a certain warmth there. So it's just those little tiny finesses that make all the difference.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that one. Okay, right. All being well. Oh God, Chris, you're struggling as well. So I'm just going to just do the same thing with Chris's. Just bear with me, talk amongst yourselves, and here we go.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Here we go.
There
This
you go.
is so
It's
cool.
playing.
I'm assuming is that the groom's son that we see?
Yes, so that's actually the group. So in this video here, basically, there was this long table. I've shot here before a couple of times, but one of the things that I liked is that all the guys were dressed up in black. Sometimes we won't have that. Not everybody's accordingly the same way, but this time it was. And I noticed that we had just finished doing their groom and groomsmen shot outside, and I had just brought them in, and I was actually going to go to the brides and the bridesmaids already and do their photos, but I was like, man, this looks really cinematic. This looks good here. I said, you know what? The table's good. To Amber's point, I saw the reflection a little bit too. I was like, man, that looks cool too. I was like, but you know what? I don't like the wall behind him that it's so close. So I added a mag 8200 with a mag sphere and a mag grid just to give a little bit of separation on there, which it did. You could see the little light coming on the little guy's head right there and the baby. And then I got my 50 millimeter, got back, I think I was at 1.2 right here at aperture 1.2, just to create that real depth of field real good. And then we shot away, softbox on the top with an 8200, 20 inch. The 20 inch softbox to me is my go-to now. I love the 20 inch. I don't use anything else anymore. It doesn't exist to me anymore. So it's just the 20 inch softbox, small, compact. And we got this shot, and that's a shot we came out with. It was a lot of excitement. It was good. However, when I was doing the shot, if you look at my frames on my camera, I had people keep going up and down with the hands, up and down with the hands, up and down with the hands for a couple of seconds. Because what I'll notice is that the more movement, and I always tell this to people that I photograph, don't stop moving. Like the clip stops there, but they kept moving. Even when I do my posing, and I tell people to look at each other, no, talk to each other. There's techniques I've always said, think about filming. Don't think so much about a photographing, because when films, there's always movement, so everything's just more natural. So the same thing with him with the cup. I would tell him, move it up and down, move it up and down. And we just kept shooting, and one would come out good. So my thing is always movement. And I try to express movement through my photographs as well.
Yeah, it's also very, very unique. A shot like this, I've never seen it done before, and that's the same as for all the others. Like Amber's shot at the beginning, Arno's proposal silhouette, I've never seen before or since. Ben's shot with the black and white sort of yin and yang is exceptional, and this as well. Do you all think that this? How do you think people learn to see this? Like when you walked into this room, Chris, did you have that shot in your mind? Did you pre-visualize the day before? What goes on? How do you get that out of your head?
So one of the things that I always tell people is that, when you overthink something, sometimes you end up doing nothing. And what you need to do on a wedding day more than anything is that we have enough pressure as it is to make sure the day goes smoothly, right? So I always when I walk into a room, I've always had this thing where can I make something out of nothing, right? Because yes, something can look pretty, but how can you make that niceness of something make it look even better? And I learned something from this photographer that I follow. His name is Fer Huresti. He's a guy that I look up to a lot. He is amazing. and he always talks about dropping your camera on things. Drop your camera on something. Don't ever shoot from here. Drop your camera.
Cool.
So every time I see a table, every time I see a glass, every time I shoot outside, a lot of my photos you're gonna see my camera's in the bottom. I never shoot from eye level. It's always lower.
Love that.
That's where that comes from, and I've learned a lot from that. So now when I go in a room, I'm always looking for any kind of, to Amber's point, reflections, number one, and number two, just something that looks extraordinary. But it was very eye-catching, I'm not going to lie, that when you walk in, everybody's so well dressed. Everybody has a cup on their hand, a glass on their hand. It's like, come on, man, like, you would have to be blind not to see this. I'm not gonna act here like, oh my God, I'm a magician. No, like, I see it, and I was like, hey, man, let's just do a toast, and boom, we create that photo.
Oh, and was his son always there, or do you add him in?
So believe it or not, he had told his son. He had called one of the his sister was there. Hey, take him away. I'm like, no, bring.
Oh no, he makes it.
Yeah, he's gonna make a photo because of him. This is the photo that it is. So yeah, we brought him in because of the photo. So it was cool.
It's gorgeous. I hope that has been printed massive.
Yeah.
Can I say that, like, even the last couple pictures that you have shown from these guys is a testament to not just their photography skills, but their heart skills, because we are photographers who photograph people. We are storytellers. So even if we take the most beautiful image in the world and it's too posy or it's whatever, it might not mean anything to them. But every single one of these photographers just told you that what they shot was mentally based off of telling the story of their client. The way that Ben was like, no, I want to keep the masculine hand, because he knows his clients. He was creating something that was more for them. He didn't disrupt who they were. And, Chris kept the baby in there, but also with the suits. And he's like, hey, this would be a phenomenal image that my client, who is also a father, would raise a toast up, but here's the young prince at the table too. And Arno with, photographing another photographer and telling their story with the proposal shot, getting him to propose again. This is amazing. This is what we do as photographers. We are storytellers above all else. And then when you have all the skills and the lighting and the posing and the knowledge, it only really comes to life when you can contribute that to the storytelling of the people that you're photographing. So amazing.
And that's exactly right. And the last thing I'll say, just one thing is, you have to be somebody that knows how to read a room. And what I mean by that is that when I walked into that room, they had rap music going on. Yeah. And all that rap stuff going, and Irv Gotti, and all this kind of stuff. So I said, this guy wants to look cool. So that tells me also what kind of photographs my client wants from me. And that's something you need to grasp to. Do you have elegant clients? You have fun clients? You have clients that want to show something different in their wedding day. So you need to learn how to read a room. And that's a great point to Amber. When you care about your customers, you adapt to your customers.
Yeah, love that. Absolutely brilliant. James has just said here, that little dude is going to adore this photo when he grows up. Totally. Yeah, it's stunning, that, Chris. Really, really nice. Okay. We now go back to Amber then. This shot, again, is one of the most original shots, wedding photographs I've seen for a long, long time. Now, if I press this, I'm going to immediately, wait a second, show this, and there we go. It's working.
Oh, yeah.
Amber's worked, Ben.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for that.
So where did this idea come from, Amber? I've never seen it done before.
Okay, all right. So this video on Instagram has been such a source of contention. I have gotten so many good comments, and I have gotten people who told me to stop being a photographer because it was so awful. So
that's ridiculous.
It's been such a thing, and I didn't think it would be, because even posting this, I didn't think it would go anywhere. It has over 3 million views right now.
Wow.
Right. So, all right. So, small backstory. This was a bride request. I had not done a shot like this before. And the bride had requested it. She checked a very long list of requests, so we were trying to just get what we could get. And then her sister came up later. This is before the ceremony. So they did a first look, and before we left the ceremony, and she's like, "Hey, my sister really wants this picture." So I was like, "All right, let's knock it out. Let's get it for her." I didn't have any ND filters on me at the time, and it was really bright out because we're in the shade. This is the only shaded spot in the whole area because of the trees. So even in the shade with the movement and everything, it was too bright. I want to keep my greens to be green, and I want the sunlight to poke through. And I'm really a photographer who tries very, very hard to keep things looking real and not blow out skies if I don't have to. So I brought the light in, which was just a very low power, and it just gave me enough of a kick so that they weren't too dark. I didn't have to overexpose everything else, and then I could freeze them a little bit better. And I was hand holding because, again, I wasn't set up to do this photo, so my tripod is way, way, way over in the car.
You must have very steady hands.
I, as a coffee connoisseur, I will tell you that it took me several years to learn how to breathe out when you're taking a photo, how to really 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Do it the way that you could, we took several, of course, but it's a lot to do with the breathing when you're trying to not shake. And then I do everything in heels because I'm short, so that's never a problem for me to be in platform. But yeah, so we took I think 10 quick. I didn't even, the bridal party was all about the running. I didn't even ask them to go that fast. They were super excited. So some of them, like this one here, I really blurred it. I really let that motion go, so that it was just such a interesting kind of flow for the dresses and the heads, and you could see that there were people. But the idea behind the image is just that, on a wedding day, there's chaos, there's crazy. And even when we're timeline planning with clients, I always tell them, hey, if you guys give me 30 minutes for photos of the two of you alone, it's going to be you alone. There's going to be no bridal party, no parents, nothing. This will be the only part of your day that you will be together and be able to breathe and just have that second together where, you're not surrounded. So I think this is a really good representation of what that moment is like, because weddings can be so chaotic and everyone's worried about, cupcakes looking good and dresses looking good and confetti and, champagne and blah, 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 blah. But in the middle of that is this relationship of two people who are going to go on and start a family and maybe even start a generation of people. So that kind of speaks to the heart of what weddings are really about, in the end.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't understand how anybody could look at that and give any sort of negativity or hate. It's incredible.
So much. I would say so much, but I would say there were a couple of comments that even Instagram removed for hate speech.
Wow.
That's how bad it is sometimes with photographers hating on each other for no reason whatsoever.
It's so sad.
This is a pride request. This is about my client. If you want to talk trash about my skills, go for it. But this is her beautiful wedding day, and she loved this picture, and it was about her.
Oh, well, not that it will mean anything, but I think it's absolutely stunning. It's awesome. It's creative. It's beautiful. You fulfill the brief that you were asked, and way more. And also as well, it's important to remember that, as with the other photographs we've seen, you've given them an experience as well. That's not just a photograph. That will be, when they look at that, they'll go back to the fun that they must have had, of seeing all these people running, all their friends running by them and stuff. You can't do a shot like that without a lot of laughter, I'm sure. So, yeah. And
right. Oh, my God.
Technically,
we were
not easy.
Yeah, everybody was sweating and giggling. It was funny.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
But I say technically very difficult to do that in the broad daylight as you are doing. That makes it really tough.
What's up, Ben?
Oh, Amber just said everyone was sweating and giggling and laughing and stuff. It sounds like our night, Arno and mine, the last night in Vegas.
We're getting there. By the end of the stream, we'll find out what happened.
The meat sweats.
Amazing. Amber, we don't need me to tell you. It's stunning. It's creative. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I would be so proud of that if I'd taken it. And it's another one of those shots that made me think, I might just steal that idea in the future. It's
You will, every
incredible and very, very well executed. Okay, right. I'm going to make amends now for Ben and put this up here, and we will see.
And crash.
Once I stretch it out. No, we've got it. We've got it, Ben. Believe.
Leave it little.
Yeah.
Get this.
Yeah, I'm going to take us off the screen just so we can see it properly. This is so cool. And the posing that goes into that. This is one of those shots, Ben, where people would look at that and think, you haven't got time to do that on a real wedding day. It must have took forever. How long did this take you?
Probably about 5 or 6 minutes. Just
wow.
And the most time that it took was wrangling the people.
Yeah.
So behind every photo there's a story, and the story for this one is that the guy who's standing up next to the barrel looking at the screen on the right hand side, the tallest one, he is the groom. And all the other men are the men of the family. And this was a wedding this was the second wedding that I'd shot for this bride.
Wow.
Let that sink in for a minute. So her first wedding was back in 2013. And the family is Italian, and they have what they call the Vitelli. Their surname is Vitelli, and they have what they call the Vitelli Mafia photo, which is basically the photo of all the men of the family. And they want it to look cool, and they want it to look mafioso and that sort of thing. So the first one I did, I probably should have put the first one I did in there back in 2013, because you'll see such an incredible growth and an incredible difference in what the first one is compared to what this one is, 12 years later.
So you were using a group composite in 2013, Ben?
No, like I did something like this. But
okay.
I just used individual lights to light them all up.
Sorry,
all at
got
once.
you. Yeah.
So I did this, but it was the hard way a long time ago. And so the other one looked okay, and back then it was really cool for what it was. I might find it and I'll put it up there. I'll post it in the group so that it's a really good example of what investing in yourself and education kind of does on another tangent. But this was obviously the second wedding for that bride, and it was just all the men. And it took me about 5 minutes to 6 minutes or so just to get them all wrangled. Amber asked me if I used the timer on the camera for this.
I was going to ask that question, yeah.
I actually used the celebrant. He was my bitch. So,
wow.
So I've got the camera set on a tripod, and I said to the celebrant, right, I'm going to say go. Every time I say go, you very gently press the button on the camera. If you rock the camera or move the camera, I will slap you.
Well, what I need to. I was thinking, Ben, that we were going to be sharing photos taken by each of you. So this feels a bit like fraud. I now feel like we should have the celebrant on this live stream. A Fab Five.
This is what Amber said. Yeah, is this your photo? Like,
exactly. I don't think it is.
This photo wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me. So you can all share it. So obviously I've got the flash. I'm running between everyone now. This is a photo that so many people in Flash Masters are taking now, and it's not. I don't think it's anything crazy and anything special. It's just done right, as far as I'm concerned. So what I've done is in the edit process. If you want to just bring up the photo, Neil, so it doesn't keep cycling. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
This photo needed to be black and white. The other one, the old one, was like a weird sepia color because I think I was on drugs that day. But this one's black and white. And I use black and white because when you look at a photo, the first thing your brain sees is color, and then from that color, your brain determines then what it thinks is going on in the photo, whether it's happy, sad, whatever, based on the initial color you see. So when you strip the color bias away and you turn the photo to black and white, your brain has no reference point for what's going on based on what it sees in the immediate second that it sees it. So then your brain has to go one step further to work out what's going on in the photo, and your brain then goes to expressions. So if you've ever seen a black and white photo and instantly you're drawn to the expression, that's why. It's because your brain's trying to work out what's going on in the photo. Paul Flanagan, Celebrant Workshop. You know what's really funny? I'm actually going to train as a celebrant next year, believe it or not. So anyway, Paul Flanagan, you can just go and...
Should say everyone, Paul did attend Ben's workshop, so
Vegas.
he's allowed.
You have to
go and eat a Mars bar.
We need people to keep Ben in his place.
Yeah, for sure. So I felt that it had to be black and white because their faces, the hard expression on their faces was what I wanted. And then it's just a case of polishing it in Photoshop. And we spoke about Photoshop before. You can polish a gem in Photoshop. You can't polish a turd. All you can do with a turd is roll it in glitter. So, and everyone that was at my 5-day workshop will laugh about my Photoshop glitter roll sort of thing. But as far as I'm concerned, if you look at this photo blown up in detail, you can see all of the details in all of the shadows. You can see all the details in all of the highlights. Everything is done very strategically, from their poses to just, everything's, even the photo in the middle was individually lit. And then I had to go through and edit out the actual reflection of the softbox in the photo. And then even that little photo of the grandfather who was in the original one, as that, and that's another element to this story, because the photo of the grandfather was part of the original 2013 photo.
Oh, that takes it another level. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
very classical, very timeless.
So there's a lot of there's obviously your standard layers to this, like we would all do, but there's also additional layers to this photo where I've got it all done and then I've pulled out contrast and then I've added contrast back into certain areas, and just to refine it and finesse it to a point that the photo looks smooth, but it still looks sharp and you can still see all the details. This is a photo I've actually entered into WPPI this year, so we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, obviously I don't know what the judges look for, but I just think it's stunning, and the black and white really works with this, and especially when you add in the poignancy of the photo in the middle in the frame, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Question here actually from Christopher. To wait till you'd finished there, Ben. Will you be teaching group composites in Vegas?
Oh, probably yes. If you guys, we have a little bit of space in the program. We have a little bit of space in there. So if those composites is something that you want to do, then yes, we'll do it. What I'm thinking about doing is when Arno and I do the Photoshop stuff, we'll get Arno to edit one of his photos, and then what I might do is go through a composite edit like this one. I'm not going to do it again because this took me about 3 hours to put together, but what I will do is maybe break this one down, and I'll as I created this one, I saved it in sections. So I've got parts of it that are half done and half-assed, and I can use those as a class to put together. So yes, we will, mate. If you want to do it, we'll hit it for you, because it's something that's pretty spectacular. And while there's a lot of people doing it, there's very few people that are actually doing it right.
Yeah, it's like I said before, Ben, with your work, it's always the finessing. It's always just getting the little bits, the tweaks right. Like the posing. Like that, when you said you just did it in minutes, it's like, I don't know how you do that. Because no one just stands like they're standing. That's the skill, I think. Making sure that it just looks right. It's balanced.
Yeah, and I kind of knew what I wanted to create, and I knew that it had to look gritty and harsh, but still mafioso and stuff, and smooth as well. Like there was all these little things that it had to be, and yeah, I don't know, but good management and good luck has pulled it all off.
Well, and a good celebrant. Question here from Drew. This is
that
sorry.
was a cheap shot, Neil.
I love you, Ben.
I did get a shot of the celebrant.
Amber's gone.
I got a shot of the celebrant on his own in this scene, and I'll post all of these in Flashmasters so that you can all see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge thrown down to you here, actually, Ben, from Drew, who attended one of my workshops and took an amazing group composite at like midnight, where he'd lit up a building as well. He said every Flashmasters affiliated workshop, which would be the Fab Four, needs a group composite of the attendees. Challenge thrown down.
Oh yeah.
I'll leave that with you.
Rightio then. Yeah, look, we'll do that. I say I will do that I'll only do it if it's really bloody hard. So if we get 20 people or more, I'm going to do it.
I like it. I like it.
A massive group composite of like a shit ton of people, and then I'll edit it, and I will film the editing process. I'll screen record the whole process, and I will post that process in Flashmasters, on YouTube, all that sort of stuff, and I'll take you through step by step everything I do, and then if there's a category available, I will enter that photo into an awards somewhere.
Oh, whoa, Ben.
Right? And if there's there needs to be a category available or something to be able to do it. But if I can find a category that's available in an award somewhere, I will edit and enter that composite photo. No less than 20 people.
Amazing.
Love it. And again, that like you say, this is a very popular technique right now, but that is one of the most beautiful, finesse, gorgeous examples I've ever seen, and looks very natural as well. I think that's one of the skills of getting these things right. It looks like it is natural, like almost like, you know, it doesn't look like you've gone through that whole process. It's exceptional. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, next up we've got Mr. Arno de Bruijn. I'll let you talk us through this one, Arno.
Yes. This was a small photo walk with Christian. He's watching too. Christian is from Los Angeles, and he hired a beautiful model, Lindsay. And we did some photos around the Mirage Hotel. The Mirage Hotel is gone now because it will be rebuilt as a Hard Rock Hotel. So I don't think this entrance is there anymore because the hotel is closed. But in Vegas you have beautiful lights, and you can see the shape of the entrance. And that was lit by LED lights and other lights. And when you are shooting there and you underexpose, you can create a sort of creative effect, so you can pose your model exactly in that frame. We were at the other side of the road, and from that point we could pose Lindsay exactly in that frame. Important is it's all done in camera, about 80%, and the rest of the 20% is done in Lightroom with black brushes, because you can see there is more light at the background. So it's important to create a rim light, because with a rim light you can pop out your model or your bride and groom perfectly, but you also can brush perfectly around your model with some blacks, because in the end result, I only want to see that contour of that building, the walls and the lights above. And I was using the Pro Photo Click Softbox because that's a super easy and fast click box. The guys from Shida Stand, also a sponsor of this workshop, gave me a super fast Shida stand, so I can use my softbox. But when there's security, I can take it with me and run away. But everything went well. It's a 24 softbox for beautiful softbox on key light on Lindsay, and with a bare rim light behind Lindsay with a CGO half gel. We create that the same light color as the building, and that's it. Underexpose. Let's check out my settings. It's an f-stop 8, 1/200 of a second, and ISO 30, 3200, and that's it. It's
really nice.
Super simple.
Again, Arno, for anybody watching, how long would that setup take you? Say you're walking down the strip and then you think, oh, there's an idea.
Yeah, that will be when I'm alone. That will be 2 minutes, and I'm gone. But I was with Christian and with another photographer from Las Vegas, so I was teaching them a little bit. So it took a little bit longer here because they should also shoot the same picture, so they can edit at home. The real circumstances. But normally 2 minutes. And with the if you have your flash on your cheetah stand, you can pick up your cheetah stand and you can walk away. So you have your backpack, your camera, and 2 stands in your hand, and you can walk away, and you can go to another place for a creative shoot. So about 2-3 minutes.
Love it. Yeah, exactly. And again, it's just important to ask that question because, again, people will think these things take a long time. But with experience and practice, as Arno's proving here, you can get something stunning very, very quickly. And it's just train yourself to see it.
Important is I use a softbox, and with the softbox, you can create beautiful soft light. So when you are using only a speed light with a max fair, you create harsh shadows. So you have to be aware more for shadows in the face. But with softbox, in about a yard from your model, you create softer shadows. So it's a little bit more simple to create fast key light on your model. And the rim light is super simple. Place a rim light behind your couple or your model up to the shoulder, and you have a beautiful rim light. And posing is also, she was a professional model, so I don't have to pose her. I only have to click on my camera, and she did every time a posing in the direction of the light.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's another one of those photographs as well that is a real advert, I just think, for off-camera flash and creativity, because you transformed, as you always do, something from what it looks like to the human eye to something not completely different, but very, very striking. Much more striking than it would have been if it was natural light, for example. It's, another really beautiful shot. Really, really good. Okay, thank you. So last but very... Oh, sorry, was that Arno? Sorry, I just interrupted someone.
Cheetah and cheetah stand is, for anyone who doesn't know what a cheetah stand is, they're awesome. They're incredible. It's a stand that you can pick up on the run and it just collapses. Like there's no undoing screws to pull the feet in, and that's so you can just pick it up and run, and they are awesome. They're also one of our sponsors. And if everyone looks under their chairs, there's a cheetah.
There's a free stand.
Yeah, they're one of our sponsors, so I'm sure that there will be a few of those floating around for everyone.
They are sponsoring. There is going to be something amazing from them. I can't say what it is yet.
Ooh, clickbait. I like it. I like it.
You know what the worst, you know what the worst part is? Every single one of these guys has a cheetah stand. I can't get them in Australia because it costs about 4 times what the stand would normally cost to ship it here. So
Yeah,
I saw them
small-
last year, and I've been having to suck and use my normal stands until I go to Vegas, and then I'm going to get my 3 in Vegas and carry them home with me.
They're
the
amazing.
small one fits in your suitcase.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm getting 3 of them.
Yeah.
Ben's going with an empty suitcase and going back with a very full foot
Bringing the
suitcase.
empty suitcase, taking it back full of equipment. That's the way to do it.
Exactly, yeah. We're also very proud of. It was only when we relaunched Flashmaster a couple of weeks ago that we announced that Cheetah Stand are now one of our sponsors as well. So yeah, we love them. Charles there was amazing, and what I didn't realize, he actually said on that live stream that I think I'm right, Amber, that Charles actually has lit a lot of your photographs.
Charles and David are the new owners of Cheetah Stands, and it's kind of like this group of when you meet people who are not all just talented but are also like amazing human beings and you connect. That's the way that like we connected with the Cheetah Stand guys. So Charles and David if they're in the vicinity and they know that we are shooting something, they want to come. They want to help out. So the video that you showed earlier, that I shot at WPPI with the red silhouette and everything, Charles from Cheetah Stand is behind that pillar adjusting the light for me. Because he was in the area, he came, he wanted to see what's going on, and he is hands-on. Whatever you need, he's right on top of it. So not just amazing products and companies, and I freaking love my Cheetah Stands, but people, human beings that you should support because they're just good-hearted.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, last but very, very much not least, I think he's saying, is Chris with his last image. So let me just make sure I'm going to do this right. So we take that off. We then move Chris's video up here. Okay, so again, such a strikingly original shot, this.
Yeah, actually, so this is a pretty good story. This was an engagement session that I did, and the first thing she tells me when we meet up, we're in front of the Plaza Hotel. She says, Chris, I spend a lot of money on my shoes, like a lot of money on my shoes. And I said, okay. She's like, so before the night ends, I want a photo of my shoes. And I was like, oh man. So the whole time I was doing her shoot, the shoes were in my head, the shoes were in my head, the shoes were in my head. And I just kept thinking, I was like, man. So I had just finished shooting them. If only the camera could turn to the side, well, up against where the guy is standing right there. I had just finished shooting them as a couple shot, separate, because I like to do the split lighting. So I just finished that. We're about to walk away, and I said, wait a moment. I said, we're going to do your shoe shot. She's like, where? I'm like, here. She's like, where here? I'm like, here. I'm like, so just stand there. Just pick up your dress, and I have an idea. Once again, the camera to the ground. That's the one of the things that we had to do. So I wanted to make sure to get that shoot up, just get that pop. And I said, well, wait a moment. I wanted to have some kind of like little flare from behind. So I got a matte grid, a quarter gel, and put that flash behind her about, I don't know, 3 feet, 4 feet behind. And then I said,
yes, I see now on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the floor. And I said, what else can I do to make it look not so simple? I said, you know what? I'm going to have the groom, the actual fiance, stand in the back, just blurred out, but he's there, just so he could come out. He's in the back. So then that's what I told my guy. I said, look, bro, you're going to flash the shoe, run to the other side. I'll hold my breath like Amber says. And then we'll take the other photo and get out of the way, and I'll merge them on Photoshop. So definitely that's exactly what we did, and we came out with this photo. And believe it or not, this is the reel that has got the most views on my page. I think we're at about 150,000.
Amazing.
and not nowhere near Amber's 3 million, but we're getting
No,
there.
Amber's living in a different world to all of us. That's impressive to me,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah. So Amber's the goat for that one. So definitely, you know, a lot of people were very intrigued on how the photo was taken and how it was done. But yeah, definitely, I think that one of the things that us as photographers need to think about is this photo could have been taken when someone says I need a photo of their shoes, it could have
Yeah.
been very, very simple, right? But our job, once again, is what can we do in order to create an image that when someone sees it, they're like, wow, what's going on here, right? Like, how did that happen? So definitely that's what we wanted to do, bring out those colors, bring out, I also noticed that her dress was velvet, that material. So I said, there's a lot of structure here. There's a lot of nice material. How can we make all that pop? And it happened. That's how we made it happen. It was pretty quick and fast.
It's absolutely stunning, and it's so creative. I just love the fact that you know, I've never seen this before. So for you just to pull it out of the bag like that is incredible. Just because she'd mentioned about how much she loves the shoes, and you've gone above and beyond and created something absolutely beautiful.
And honestly, I know people are gonna think, how long did it take you? I think that if I literally, when I told her stand there, pick up the dress a little bit so I could see your shoe, I put him up. I'm not lying to you. It took me about 2 takes. We did 2 takes. It wasn't on the first one, but on the second one we got it. So I would say within 2 minutes, a minute or two, maybe even less, we got it done.
Great storytelling. Great storytelling.
It took me longer to set up. It took me longer to set up my iPhone because I forgot my stand. So that took me a lot longer. But they were so supportive. They're like, Chris, just don't worry. I'm like, so I used her purse to hold my phone. So yeah, that was the case on that one. But I forgot my stand that day. It is what it is. But that took me way longer than anything else.
I know that people will be watching this and probably think, as I have done, that how do you learn to train your brain to see this? But I think one of the ways you can certainly go down that path is by surrounding yourself by people like you. And the more that you're surrounded by the creative people, by osmosis, it sort of seeps in. So I'm sure just walking around Vegas with the 4 of you will like awaken parts of your brain. You'll start seeing things that you may not have seen if you were on your own. Because half of the problem is seeing it.
Yeah, I'll give everybody a good tip that's on this live right now, and you can write it down, and it's going to help you. Film Grab, FILMGRAB on Instagram. They're actual stills of movies. And what I do is I always look at that. I look at movies because to me, movies have one of the best compositions you'll ever see. So when you see it on a movie and you go under Film Grab and you see those stills, you can put it in real life for your photos. And that's where I've learned, like, having 2 people in a scene from 2/3 and having maybe a person sitting down, someone standing, putting the camera, like Film Grab will show you like so much by like just different movie scenes that they take, and they take a photograph of it and they share it. And that's where I learn. That's why I love movies, and movies intrigue me a lot because a lot of that comes from those ideas.
That's great. Really good. I've never heard of that. I will definitely check that out.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with music videos, like in the 90s, 2000s. You know, when music videos were good, when they would make it and it would just be like a whole production, and there were like these little mini movies, and then they would compete. Artists used to compete to see who had, you know, and then that's where Michael Jackson's music videos came up, and they were like mini movies.
Oh, his were crazy.
Back when it was such a thing. I loved watching music videos because it's just like Chris said, they look like little film grabs, and then you're training your brain to see that way. And then Neil, really quick, when you said just a second ago, you know, how do you learn this, and it's good to have the company. There's a statistic that says, you know, you are a product of the top, was it 5 or 6 friend group that you're in. So like if your friend group are pessimists, if they're all pessimists and you are the 5th person, you're likely to become a pessimist. If you are poor and your top 5 friend groups are all millionaires, you will become a millionaire. So I think that's great when you said that, to hang out with creative people, because hello, there's 5 of us here.
Yeah.
Be this
Yeah.
person, chat with us, you know, get the creative juices going. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree. I think that's so true. You can't help but be inspired when you're around inspiring people. And I can just imagine the 4 of you, you know, like walking down the strip. It's like something out of a film, actually. Maybe it'll be in Film Grab in the future, Chris. You 4 just walking down the strip. And you'll have Arno saying, "Look at that," Ben saying, "Look at that," and you'll all be seeing stuff, and it'll be all like mental overload. Yeah. It's exciting even thinking about it. Yeah.
With all the
it's being the opportunist. Like, there's a really cool saying that I like, and it's, while the pessimist and the optimist were arguing over whether the glass was half empty or half full, the opportunist drank it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the politically correct way I'm going to say that. There's an Australian way I'm going to say it.
Yeah, and I have another one.
Go for it.
By
I'm scared.
sharing our creativity and knowledge, we make the creative world and ourselves better.
Oh, nice. Totally agree. Is there anything you'd like to add before we finish the stream? I have loved this, by the way.
Yeah, come to Vegas.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You gotta come to Vegas. Like Ben said earlier, like we have spots for about 20. I don't think we're gonna go. We don't want massive, because we want to make sure that we have hands-on. It's really, really important to us. Like Ben said earlier, that if somebody is teaching or somebody's over here, over there, we want to be able to individually talk to each attendee, talk you through problems and answer questions, and then for you to be able to talk to every single one of us. So once those spots are gone, they're gone. And because we did sync it up right before WPPI starts, we wanted to make it easy for people, especially if they're traveling internationally, out of town, to just add on those 2 days, come for those 2 days, you know, and then kick off the week with a bang with us. And then, you know, I'm sure we'll all go grab some espresso martinis at some point later on.
Great. Actually, sorry, I should have really asked this earlier. You just jogged my memory there, Amber. It's for anybody who's watching this, like myself, who hasn't actually been to WPPI. Obviously, your workshop is just before it, so there's a good chance if you're going to go to your workshop, you'll go to WPPI as well. But if you haven't been, could you, one of you just, because obviously you're all veterans of the scene, just describe maybe what WPPI is like? Because it's like a double whammy, isn't it? If you go in for your thing, you'll also be getting the advantage of being at WPPI as well, which is great, I'm assuming.
It's
New
for
friends.
me, it's like going home.
Oh,
Like it's like going home. It is the biggest thing I look forward to all year, because I get to see my photography family, who I never get to see. I mean, these guys are all over the globe. It is like a family reunion. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't stress enough how important it is as a photographer to get a community. And if you don't have one locally, because there's a lot of fighting or a lot of, hustling for clients, the international community can be your community too. We can be.
That's really nice. Yeah.
It's
and
one
it
of
is
those
like getting
places
2 for
where
1
you
as well.
can go and step into a room with 2,000 or 3,000 other highly creative people that when you walk in, there's no competition. Like, everyone knows everyone says hello, everyone's there to support the other, everyone's there to educate and inspire and that sort of stuff. There's no competition there, there's no bullshit. It's just walking into a room with a couple of thousand other creatives and just going, feed me. Like, you can just, you take away so much.
And I dare say it's testament to WPPI that you 4 are actually together as well. Like, you've all probably met as a result of WPPI. So I think it is always worth remembering, as well as your workshop, which would be the main reason I'd go. But you are getting to be, well, you're there anyway. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1, really. So No,
Yeah.
thank you again. Just to reiterate, Flashmasters are so proud to be a small part of what you've created, the four of you. It sounds absolutely incredible. I don't know of this being available anywhere else in the world. Not just for incredible photographers, but as we've seen on the stream, for very, very funny and very, very beautiful souls, basically, who all, I can assure you, for everybody watching this, I can assure you, knowing the four of them as I do, these people want to help you. They're in this for the best of intentions. And if you surround yourself with these four people for 2 days, you will come away from it a better photographer, and I'm sure a better person as well. So, yeah, I'm sure that it will be a huge success. We're very, very proud to have a small association with what you created. We can't wait to see what you actually come up with at the workshop, and I'm sure it'll sell out very, very quickly. So, again, Amber, I'll pass to you. If anybody does want to, well, where do people, if people will want to come, where should they go?
So go to my website, amberhenryphotography.com. If you don't go to the link directly, which has been posted here a couple of times.
Yeah,
and
it's in the
there,
link as well, everyone. It's in the description.
Yep, right on my website, you'll see Fabulous 4. The first page gives you all kinds of information. It'll have a button that says click here, sign up. And that one's going to have everything that Ben went over, the entire schedule from start to finish. The bottom is going to give you discount codes of what hotels to stay at. If you want to stay at the Chicken Nugget, you can, but probably don't do that. The Gold Nugget might be better. But all the discount codes are in there. If you have questions, please email me. You can hit my button right there on the website, and you can email me, or you can reach out to any one of us. We are so happy to answer questions, to get you there, to meet you in person, to hang out with you in person. We are going to have the best time ever. It's going to be amazing.
It sounds it. It sounds it.
If I can echo that, Amber, if there's anyone that has questions, please reach out to any one of us, because we're all only too happy to answer anything that you need. The other thing to remember is that while we are sharing this here, there is limited seats for this, and we are doing live streams like this with our sponsors as well. So there's about another 10 different sponsors, and we're going to be doing live streams like this. So if this is something that you want to do, please reach out to us, and please get in as soon as you're able to, or as soon as, you know, your budget allows, or something like that, because there's limited seats available, and there's you know, a lot of other places that we're trying to promote this as well. And we would love to have Flashmasters members there as our priority, because, you know, we're such big supporters of Flashmasters. So come and join us, guys, and get in as soon as you can, and we'd love to have you there. And thank you to everyone for staying this long too. I see there's still 28, 29, 30 people. It's been 2 and a bit hours. Guys, thank you. I appreciate you staying, and appreciate your investment in time here as well.
And hope you had fun.
So I've loved it. It's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. This will, for everybody watch, if everybody wants to watch it back, it will instantly be available on YouTube now, straight away, if you want to watch it back. So yeah, thank you so much to every single one of you who watched this. We really, really appreciate it. And of course, to the Fab Four themselves. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Arno. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Amber. This sounds incredible. Go to Amber's website. Get yourself signed up. This will be an amazing experience. I hope that we in hell will be there as well. We'd love to see you all, because I just want to hang out with you all. Just seeing the energy of you four is addictive. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. So excellent. So thanks again for watching, everyone. And yeah, we'll see you in the Facebook group. See you all soon. Thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.